All right, we are go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everyone's good today.
The coffee we got on hand is next level.
Next level. So for our real 10th episode, I busted out the Silverbridge Snow Angel. This is like my seasonal coffee. It only comes out in the winter, and it's used to be difficult to find, and now they have it at my local Kroger, which is phenomenal. And I'm introducing Mike to it today.
It smells phenomenal.
Oh, it tastes so good.
Very full-bodied. Kind of some spices in there, perhaps.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be surprised. I won't tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
But
all right.
You'll dig it. You'll dig it.
See if I can pick it out. We'll see how astute my taste buds are today.
It's kind of yeah. It's not. It might not be what you expect. Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
I'm trying to think of like my first impression of it. Bit of nuts, some hazelnuts, perhaps.
Never gonna guess.
Damn, it is good.
It is primarily coconut.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now that you say that, I smell it. Yeah. I feel it. It's very smooth though.
Super smooth coffee.
Very full flavor as soon as it hits the palate.
It's all there.
But yet it still has that refreshing aspect to it. It's not like a heavy, dark flavor, so it still sits off nicely.
No, it's a medium roast, so. But yeah, it is all good. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Quite lovely. So episode 10 today.
Episode 10 today.
The real episode 10.
Real episode 10, yeah. I got all excited about our first guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. That was like a sub episode 9 thing.
Yeah, but I mean, word dropping knowledge is always a fun part.
Yeah, that's fun.
So today, as hinted at last time's episode, we're going to get into overcoming negative training environments.
Yeah.
And let's lay down some groundwork on this one, so we're not just like whining about the old days. We're not gonna. Yeah, I mean, maybe we can plan a little, but
this, I think, our talking about it just comes from a place of we've already reflected, we've sat down, compared notes. It's not coming from a place of anger, and it's not coming from a place of victimhood or anything like that anymore. It's
this is a story that I think we share in common, that we either have lived. It is not our current story.
Yeah.
Not my current story, not his current story. It is just actually kind of how we bonded. Is we kind of picked up on each other's like weird stories, like, whoa, okay.
They're just like certain behaviors that I cued into, and I was like, that's an interesting thing. I'm like, maybe his coach fucked him up too.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. But in terms of just negative training environments, that can mean a lot of different things. Like for our experience and like our bond and stuff, we kind of had that, hero worship kind of thing. And
the hero
that trickle down
and all that.
And that there's a very strange hierarchy that created a pretty nasty, toxic environment to function in. But that's the thing, you did function in it.
Yeah, I mean, you can function in it. For me, I know even when I knew things were bad, and that was sort of an undulating scale. Sometimes I knew it, sometimes I didn't. But I always knew that the training was good.
That's what fucks you almost every time, I feel like. When the training's good, you're like, all right, I'm going to protect this.
I can put up with this.
Yeah.
Because these people are amazing, and I can, like, the crew here, like, I can deal with it.
But in retrospect, the second someone is making you feel fucking
be done
weird,
with that crap.
You got to get out.
Be done with that shit, man.
I mean,
Now, easier done than said, as far as now.
Right.
Easier said than done then.
Yep.
Because I know a big part of my problem in Taekwondo was options. There weren't any. Especially close. I would have had to move to another state.
Yeah.
And so when things did start to go bad in my situation, I was like, I don't want to travel any more than I already am. Yeah. And anyone else that I could travel to, I don't want to train with.
Yeah. Right. That's what also I think keeps people in those environments too, is like the options, or like,
if there's
you don't want to quit, or like you don't want to walk away, or there's just not another choice, like to me, like not doing jiu-jitsu, like it definitely like crossed my mind. Like we've talked about that. Like I've thought about just saying fuck it, walking away, and just being done. And like that was very much so like my choice, you know, at one point. But that the weird thing is, even when I had made up my mind to not do it, I was still at the gym training.
You're still training,
still
doing shit.
So even though I had made like the choice in my head, I'm like, I'm done, I'm not doing this. I was still doing it, and I'm still doing it now. Yeah. Until I found myself, because that's the thing. Like, why the fuck would I walk away then? I just went through so much bullshit for a decade. Why then? You know?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why bother? It's already done.
Yeah.
I know on my end too is things didn't start out bad.
Right. Yeah.
That started out really good.
Yeah. That's what. And you do things, specific things in that time when it's good that, again, keep you there. You feel the loyalty, you feel the blood, sweat, tears, the people, whatever, like, and that's another problem too, is like other people being involved.
Yeah, and I know I remember one time when I was in college, and a friend of mine and I were running a school. And it was very brief. I don't know, maybe a year before it closed down. I don't remember anymore. But at one point, I remember he'd gotten this tattoo. And I was thinking about getting it too. And my girlfriend at the time, thank you for saying this. She goes, don't. She's like, don't get it. A, don't ever get the same tattoo as someone else. That's just dumb. But two, like, I don't think this friendship isn't as important to him as it is to you. And I know you want it to be. Maybe it was.
But you don't need it. Like
but it's not. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
You know, from her perspective, she didn't come in the beginning. In the beginning, we were attached at the hip. We trained together every day. That was at the end, you know. And she saw it way before I did. And
that's the problem too. Sometimes you need an outside perspective to be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?"
No, you need one, but you actually have to trust the outside perspective.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
To believe them.
Yeah. That's another thing that will keep people in that type of environment, is not trusting. Yeah, you have the blinders on. You're in it, like, and then. Yeah, it's intriguing. Just the interesting stories already. Go ahead, continue with more.
All right. You got to jump in too. You didn't talk much last episode. Actually, just a quick hint on that though. I think I talk a lot more than Cheney does, because Cheney gets to talk a lot more in real life.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm home alone most days, so I'm just listening to podcasts and shit while I'm doing laundry. So I go a little off. Sorry, but
no, like the tattoo thing.
The tattoo thing was weird. Now you know what the funny part is we both actually ended up having very similar tattoos. I have Taekwondo on the back of my right arm. He has it on the back of his left.
Yeah.
Completely unintentional. I think we had both talked about getting it and that maybe being a cool spot. But we didn't get him at the same time. Didn't know about it at the same time. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So we ended up kind of having a similar tattoo.
Right.
I think his is a slightly different writing than mine. Mine's off a Century patch that I loved. Very specific patch that my friend Sean always had on his uniform. And
that was the one.
That was the one. I just loved it because I got to see it all the time. And Sean was like from The Matrix. It's like if Bob Marley could run up walls. Like, that was basically him.
Yeah. Well, that's the tattoos, man. That's another
tattoos
rough one. That's a killer. Because, man, I was that close.
I was that close multiple times.
You know, more or less branded.
Yeah, branded.
And I know people who have, and then who had to get it covered up.
Or just wear it like, I got this during that time, and it meant something then.
Right, but then sometimes you just say, fuck it, done. Just black it out.
Yeah.
Put whatever you over it.
I mean, classic example, I just got Hendra Gracie Legacy on DVD.
Yeah.
It's a great, great documentary, but they make a big deal of Dave Camarillo's Hensla's brother. Half.
Yeah.
His Half Gracie tattoo on his back.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's that? Why you have that? I thought you guys. Well, it's going to change. It's going to change.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, don't brand yourself.
It's not. I mean, even if it is your fucking name, like even then, it's a little tacky.
It's just weird. Yeah, get your own name tattooed.
That or like a brand of like the Gracie, like they get the Gracie G, like even like
the triangle thing.
Yeah, like what if you change teams? Like what if like. that happens now. Like back then, it was very.
Back then, it was not only did it not happen, it was very hard for it to happen. It's not like martial arts in general wasn't everywhere.
Right.
But especially something like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Was still like real close to the belt. Like you knew about it if you followed martial arts, but specifically MMA. Like UFC, like 2 or 3 is when I got in. When I found out about jiu-jitsu, and I followed that since '95. I've followed it, but that's the only reason I know about it. But then people in Taekwondo, they didn't know about fucking jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy I knew that was like, I want to train in all kinds of shit. And I would secretly train in other shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see like new martial arts form or anything, but now, I mean, right now, if you had to like put a time frame on it, like right now, MMA is the martial art of this century. And
calf kicks.
Yeah. Like, it's gonna change, I think, and it's looking more towards grappling because of the way MMA is going.
Well, not just because of the way MMA is going, but the way concussions are going.
Yeah.
I think CTE is driving the world toward grappling as a competitive outlet.
I mean,
I think more and more children are going to get put into things like jiu-jitsu and judo because of the safety.
Absolutely.
It's clearly safer than getting booted in the head.
Or having a 300-pound man blast into you with a shitty helmet on.
And helmets don't stop concussions, by the way, guys. They don't do anything to stop concussions.
Yeah.
They prevent you from cracking your head open. That's about it. Yeah.
But yeah, like, whether... That's the hard thing, again, with, like, bad environments, is it's hard to see if it's shifting into a good, bad, again, like, the
when you're in it, you can't see it.
And again, the bad part is when outside sources tell you that it's bad, like, if you don't listen, or you don't trust them, or whatever, it's...
Yeah, I mean, and that's built into the bad system, not trusting the other people.
Exactly, because, I mean, usually that system is
telling
you what
to do and how to think and all that stuff.
Yeah, or it's just conditioned you to respond a certain way to things like that, or,
I mean, it's very much a sweep the leg situation, But, I don't know, for you, like, you got in real young.
Yeah.
But you'd had previous experience in wrestling before jiu-jitsu.
Right. And I mean, I had played sports my entire life, so, like, I was no, like, stranger to coaching and kind of just, like, just influential people like that. Like, I just kind of, I think it's maybe I didn't have, like, a negative training environment with wrestling. I just didn't function that well with it yet.
Couldn't choke people.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't wrestle.
Right, I want to choke and throw and do cool stuff, hit people, but then, like, I started to get into jiu-jitsu when I was 15, roughly, after a few years of wrestling and stuff. But going into where I was, like, I just wanted to fight. Like, I was like, MMA, cool. That's because, again, I was like when, like, Chuck Liddell and all those dudes.
That's when jiu-jitsu was like siphoned into MMA.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was still.
But in my mind, I wasn't going to train specific martial arts. I was going to train for MMA and fighting and this and that. So then, once I was introduced to those specific martial arts, then I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna keep this separate.
Cool.
Yeah, like, I thought, it was a smelly, dank, hole-in-the-wall gym, like, that's, I guess, that's where you listen and read. Yeah, it's like where fighters are made and that, so, like, yeah, okay, like, this is the spot I should be in. It's tough and gritty and gross, I guess. That's what I wanted, so that's what I was there for.
Yeah.
And it stayed that way, and, for a long time, and continued to go on, but I guess, I mean, in retrospect, business-wise, the gym was just a mess. Like, I obviously didn't have any influence in how the gym ran at that point. Like, I was just training.
Yeah.
And just training was as simple as it ever got, After that, I started to teach kids, and then after that, I was just in. I was teaching, I was training to fight, to compete and do stuff, so I was just in.
All right, that brings up an interesting question for me. Now, I know kind of toward the end of my tenure here in Hilliard of the school that I was teaching at one point, I actually got kicked out, which is really weird. It's a weird story. I don't even want to go into it, but it's just how it happened is just nuts.
Yep.
I came back because, and like, I came back for my students.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the school was going downhill, but I also knew what it was without me, because I still been in contact with people, and some of the kids that were teenagers, I would see them around. They'd be like, Mr. Jones, you gotta come back, man. It's not the same without you.
It's like when Scar takes over the Lion King.
Yeah, it's very much that thing. And I'm thinking, like, I didn't realize I had that much of an influence on the place.
Yeah.
And it was, when I went back, there was a defined split of them and me. Like, here's my coach, who's the owner of the joint, and then me, and you could tell what students were going where. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and then kind of as that all ended, you know, I could have very easily taken the school over.
Always one.
Thank you. I now look forward to it because I get to see Samuel Jackson's face. Jules gets to scowl at me, but I had to make a conscious decision to not go there because I didn't want to open up a school under negative pretenses, because the school I was at kind of opened up under negative pretenses. We left another school and we're like da da da. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not repeating that. And then too, like, my daughter was 6 months old,
right?
And my stepsons were 12.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
What kind of turbulence like that?
I'm like, no, I gotta take care of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, I can't do it. But it was a weird thing of that. I shouldn't have come back. Mm-hmm. I really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I wrote it out to the end. And then the other end of it too was like, it's just weird samurai shit in my head. I had to fulfill my debt.
You had to be honorable.
There was honor, and I felt like I owed the school and my coach something. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know anybody anything. But for me, like,
that was the choice.
It honors the choice. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'm doing it for my students. I got to ride this out and see where it goes. I can't just let people hanging. And the guy that kicked me out for nothing, like, I owe him some shit. Why?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what are you thinking on that one? How was your end in that respect?
I guess at that point, it depends, just because it depends on how I look at it.
Yeah.
Or we know which day it is.
Yeah. Well, I have the luck of having a specific day, I guess.
Right. I just remember leading up to, like, the end. Like, there was a very specific shift.
Yeah, you could tell when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, cracks were forming years before that.
Mm-hmm.
Red flags were there years before that.
They were popping up. Yeah.
And those were things I should have paid attention to. I got kicked out, actually, at one point and came back, and that's, the same thing. Like,
why?
And,
why?
Like, and I had to... But that was very early on, actually, and well, kind of, it was like mid-ground, I guess. And then I got kicked out, and I was like, fuck, I'm gotta go face this. But there wasn't a thing to face. It was entirely...
It's all...
Yeah, it was just, that, and it was just entirely fucking... just manipulated by my coach to make it into a thing that it wasn't, like... Mm-hmm. Just to keep his thumb on me, I guess, so... but then from then on, I guess... Yeah. That was probably when he realized, like, I can pretty much do whatever I want with these people, kind of thing. I
got you.
I guess, once he realized what kind of influence he had over people, and then he just took advantage of people's kindness, and then...
Yeah, I mean, similar story, dude. Yeah. Now, I'll tie that into one more thing that we've talked about on previous episodes about staying out of trouble as kids, we're training. Now, I could hang out with drug addicts and like people who skipped school and people. I never did any of that shit. And I feel like that ability to separate myself from the bad environment I was in helped me a lot in my negative environment as far as training goes. Because in Taekwondo, in the era that I grew up in, all the crap that's coming out now of just some bad shit that happened, and I know a lot of those people. I had no idea. I was never a part of any of those things.
That's the weird thing. It's like,
and I'm like,
it leaves those who had zero involvement like, what the
hell happened?
You don't know. You don't know.
Like, I didn't know. But I feel like my ability to kind of be in bad environments and not become part of it in a certain way, I feel like you kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you missed a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
But you were still there, right in the middle of it.
Right. That's the thing. It's like you trade one thing for another. Like I took, getting in trouble with the cops as a kid in terms of like, I traded that with dealing with a fucking sociopathic asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
pretty much.
You just trade experiences. Like maybe you'll deal with that later on in life, but you just got it early. Like,
yeah, you got it early, got it out of the way.
I don't know.
But I don't know. Awkward silence.
Just I think it's a special type of person as well. Once they get into a position like that and realize that they can take advantage of people, and they start doing it. They just start, isolating people and keeping people away from each other, and then it's just a big game of telephone, and that's just how the negativity continues to spiral.
That's true.
Yeah,
I remember when that happened, actually. Like, I think of it in that way. I can think of very specific people that when we got separated, and all of a sudden we were being played against each other.
Dude, I mean, that was the day-to-day. It was like, this person said this. Even if they did say that, it was with another piece in a conversation that we didn't get, so then it was pitted against each other. But.
Yeah, I know for me, by the time all that happened, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But I still stayed because I wanted to teach the kids. And I wanted to kind of protect people from it. And people would like come at me with this stuff, and I knew where it came from, and I could diffuse it.
That's the thing. You could diffuse it to a point.
But yeah, to a point. But to the point now where like none of us keep up anymore. Like we're not friends anymore.
That's one thing that I am grateful for is like people that I was with, and then we all kind of we had a valiant effort of sticking together. Like there was a point like we were trying to stay together, train together at this shitty barn place, like that was awesome, but at the time, but it just wasn't sustainable. And then we went into another place, and but then as time, kind of got to it, and people went their own ways, which at that point it was necessary. Like, and I think it was healthy in the long run. Like that's how it should have been. People went their own ways. People doing their own things, dealt with it their own way, and now, but we're still friends, which is the nice thing. It's one of those things where it's like we went through that together. Fuck that.
When everything shakes out, like the people that end up staying in contact are very interesting.
Yeah.
It's
just you sit. Sometimes you sit down, have coffee, compare notes, and you're like, "Yeah, that was bullshit." And you say, "Like, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that." And you hash it out. Like
everyone's cool.
Yeah. And just be like, and sometimes with those people, like, you don't even have to say like anything specific. You're just like, "Look, I know."
You're like, I get it. Now it's funny because you kind of have you have one spot that went all bad. Before I was at the bad spot, I was at another spot that went bad. Then I was at a spot that was really good that just ended. And so, for me, the thread was always sport.
Yeah.
I wanted to get better. Taekwondo was big. It was in the Olympics. I knew Olympians. I was trying hard to do that, and that's the route I had to take.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You wanted that.
I wanted it so bad that I was able to put up with all this. And I got further and further away from the origin. Until,
that's the thing. It twists itself into like this ugly thing, and you're like, fuck. You look in the mirror, or you look at whatever, you're like, what is this?
Like what the hell happened?
Yeah. Like, why am I like this?
Because it's cool, because if you go back to the beginning, aside from, like, maybe one person, I'm cool with all the people from the old days in Athens. Like, we're all still good.
Yeah.
Like, we don't keep up. Like, I mean, we're all grown now. We've all sort of separated, but we're chatting on Facebook. We're, anytime we're around, we're going to try to find each other, kind of thing, and then you go beyond that, and then the weird separations start happening. It was like, it's competitiveness, sure, we were trying to tear each other's heads off every day, but it just, you could tell, like, there's your difference. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like the way I just like function, like when I have something that I like love like that, I just want to protect it and have it be that way, and that's again like what kept it, because like even though I had that environment and it was shitty, I was like, I don't know another one, so I just have to protect this until
that's
something.
It's pretty classic,
right?
If you don't know what another environment's like, how can you know? That's why there's the cycle of poverty and the
Right.
cycle of people staying rich, why families keep money. You know, the same kind of thing. If you don't know anything else, how can you?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, but that part of that too is just like the conditioning. Like we were told not to do stuff. You know, we weren't told not to go out, not to do this with like other people, other gyms, other schools.
Oh
like,
yeah, you definitely had your enemies.
yeah, fuck yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
Which
I mean,
was
that's
stupid.
and that's one of the reasons why I didn't go train anywhere. Like with certain people, like, and to this day, I don't think I still wouldn't train with those people for no reason.
And that, you know, it's almost entirely mental.
It's 100% mental.
entirely
It's
mental.
ingrained in you. Yeah, and like other people's beef being put on you. Like, it was just dumb.
So it takes a lot of time to like separate yourself from that and be like, all right, this is my thing that I can do with it, and blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, I mean, like to the point of still not training with certain people that like weren't friends of the school or something. The reason I wouldn't train with them is because I wouldn't want to listen to the bullshit.
yeah,
They'd try to be like ripping on what I was doing 10 years ago, and I'm like, no, I don't. I just don't want to mess with that. Like, so let's be here now.
Yeah. And I think that just happens in every community, especially like fighting.
Especially a fighting community. Yeah,
Guns, self-defense,
people are going to
Muay
fight.
Thai,
Yeah.
you know, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, like it's going to be like, oh, this, that, whatever. Like, fuck yeah, dude, whatever. But we're all wearing gis, we're all wearing belts. Massive percentage of the population doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Why can't we be homies? Like,
Yeah, come on, man.
Like,
I don't have my pajamas on right now.
right. Like, I don't understand that shit.
Yeah.
And that's stuff that rubbed me wrong as well. Like, there was the whole like Krianche movement and shit in jiu-jitsu, like the whole trader thing. It's like, why can't you just do what you want? Like,
I remember at one time I was staying at a friend of ours. It was a friend of my coach's. He runs a school down south, and like I was my coach's number one dude, and I was hanging out with this dude's number one guy. And number one guy from down there was like, "You should always call him master. I don't think you should refer to him by his first name." I'm like, we're going to a bar. I'm going to drink a Guinness, and I'm asking you for food recommendations, and you're telling me about formalities. And I didn't say this in my head, but I'm like, this is crazy.
yeah.
This is crazy.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing it. You know?
And I remember specific kind of goofy things like that, like, oh, you should call them crew or whatever, like,
like
it was
no.
the Muay Thai equivalent, or just like, nah,
and you know, you go back to
or whatever.
Like the beginning of the bad situation. The beginning of it was really cool. I remember one time when I turned 21. After I was 21, we would go out after class sometimes, and like just go to dinner and stuff, or whatever. But at one point, we're getting out of the car, and like I had two coaches at the time, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, sir." And he looks at me and goes, just gives me like, call me by my first name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Stop." I'm like, "Got it,
Sir.
got it, sir." And I was like, just so programmed to it. But he's like, "I'm a person," and like I loved that, and that's where that started. And then we left that school, we separated, and all that stuff. But you know, like when people like we're friends, but you're one of my teachers.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
There's like a weird line, like there can't be teacher friend, student friend. Like why?
And I mean, that line's there for a reason. It can go too far.
Absolutely.
You can get too many people too close to you. Sure,
It's a problem. Yes,
it definitely can be a problem. But with certain people,
but also, I mean, that relies on me to have a line of professionalism, and to hold my boundaries as well as them, which I didn't know then, which I didn't know as a kid.
Like you didn't have an example,
right? Yeah,
I
didn't
know how to hold the boundaries.
Yeah, which is something I've learned. So it's nice.
Well,
So turn a frown upside down.
Hey, man, yeah. Now, okay, let's take it in. Let's take it into the turn around upside down thing of that. We're both part of the reason this podcast started was basically this topic of this episode. But we also have very distinct views on what we learned from past mistakes and bad experiences, and what we won't do now. So let's take it that direction, because I think that influences your positivity.
Sure.
Now,
I mean, as a kid, I was just like predisposed for negativity, like just the way I am. It's kind of like, fuck it, why you're gonna lose, or you're gonna this or that, like.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, meh, whatever. And then I didn't know, again, like another way. I didn't know the positive way. It was just I had reinforcement of my negativity.
Yeah.
So once I got out of that sort of environment, then you're like, oh, like there's nice things. There's
this is fun.
You don't have to suffer all the time. You have to subject yourself to suffering.
Class doesn't have to hurt.
Yeah, like, or even if you do something well, it's okay to be like, oh, good job, or whatever.
Yeah.
Tons of different little things like that. Now, like, once I decided that I was like back in it, teaching, doing whatever, like 110%. I was like, I just always have to be what I wanted. Like, always have to be what I needed.
Gotcha.
0%. Like, even if it goes against my grain, like, it's the 0% thing I want to do, like this or that, but, like, if it's something that's needed, it's going to happen.
I gotcha.
There's that saying, like, be who you needed when you were younger or whatever, like that.
I mean, everyone's got to be their own Mr. Miyagi, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works. I mean, at least I feel the same way. And, I mean, one of the reasons why I was very hooked on training with you is just the personality matchup. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this guy's the guy I like. This is what I like. You teach a lot of the ways that I teach, but I teach because that's the teacher I wanted. Mm-hmm. I treat people how I'd like to be treated.
Yeah.
I want to be, and I'm like, all right, yeah. I can dig this.
Even how like a class is run, like making people feel comfortable. I remember people being so uncomfortable to even like do anything out of turn. It's like, that's not how you're gonna learn. Like, you're not gonna learn like that.
I mean, yeah, you're not gonna learn anything. But then you put it in perspective of like, this is not the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah, but at that point...
At that point it was.
It was. And their outside world was fucking bullshit.
Get that.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, like if I were to teach Taekwondo now, it would be very, very different. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't, there was way too much emphasis on memorizing this and doing that and rank and this and all that stuff. It'd be very different. It'd be a lot more like, say, the way you run a jiu-jitsu class. Because people don't come to class to be berated and to have their brains overfilled with crap. People's lives are stressful enough, man. Like, literally, they come to class to get hugs.
Yes.
And, like, just it's aggressive hugging. And, I mean, you really got to look at it like that. It's physical contact, emotional contact with other human beings in a positive light. And so it helps turn the volume down on the rest of your day and gives you something to look forward to, but not something to weigh you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a fine line.
That
people get into. And that just depends on how, like, into whatever you're doing you are. Like, there's plenty of examples of people, like, who train, like, 2 or 3 times a week. They're never going to compete. They're never going to do this, but they're fucking happy training. They're happy with where they're at. Mm-hmm. That's, if I could tell people to have a mindset, it's almost like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're always going to be consistent.
Yeah. And, I mean, like, that's where I try to be now. Although, like, I find myself, say, we didn't go to class on Thursday. Mm-hmm. My daughter had a 4-day weekend. She came home, and this has been actually a really cool practice for her to not, like, flip out. Because she used to be like, when she was little. And, now she's almost 10, and she comes home and she says, Papa, I don't think we should train today. I'm like, why?
That's badass. That's really cool.
And she's like, because it's a holiday, Papa. And tomorrow we have off. I think we should just stay home and enjoy being home. And I'm like... That was cool.
That mindfulness is
great. It's like we worked on that. It took a while, but because I wasn't a dick about like you must train. Because in my head I'm like, it's fucking Thursday. I gotta train.
Yeah.
Dude, but then I have to be like, no, this is a part of life. It's not life.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
That's interesting that you get to do that with another human. Like, you don't have to project that onto another human, but at the same time you still get to deal with it on your own end. You're like, oh, this is a practice for me. Hey, it's for her not to flip out, but it's for you not to flip out about training.
For me not to flip out training. And then it's also to be like, I would love it if she trains for her entire life.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you build someone training for their entire life?
Not make it negative.
Don't make it negative. Take a day off every once in a while.
That's what I tell people.
Be okay with it.
People will message me or something and be like, oh, like, my thumb or something. I'm like, take a day off. They think I'm going to be like, oh, wrap it up, put me in a bitch or whatever.
Okay.
And if, like, sometimes, like, you got to say
sometimes people need that.
Yeah, and sometimes they need to be like, yeah, wrap it up. But most of the time, I'm going to be like, take a day off.
Take a day off. You have tomorrow, man.
Yeah, like it's not, the week before Worlds or something, like,
And even if it was the week before Worlds, you're not going to get any better in a week, dude.
Yeah.
Get on the bike. keep your cardio up. I'll see you when you compete.
Exactly. And it's like, and I just understand that anxiety, and the first thing I'll do then is just to diffuse the anxiety of them not being there. I'll just be like, it's cool. Like, it's cool. Like, I've taken time. Like, you gotta take time. You can't pour from an empty glass. Like, but I understand that's like, oh fuck, I gotta train. I gotta go. I gotta tell someone I'm not gonna. Like, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, because there was a time when I never made excuses.
Oh, dude,
and I really should have.
Yeah. Oh, for like my mental health, my physical health, like I should have not done a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, but in my head, that's the thing. I drove myself. So like it was either I don't know if you want to call it my anxiety or this or that. I mean, but I was always training against the faceless opponent.
I mean,
I was reinforced by that person. So.
I mean, I was bad on my bed, right? I had a lofted bed, and then I slept on that futon right there, actually, underneath the lofted bed. And so there was like a little ceiling. On that shit, I had a picture written out. If you're not training, someone else is training to kick your ass. Mm-hmm. Every day when I woke up, every night when I went to bed, that's the last thing I saw. So I'd wake up in the morning and be like, fuck, I gotta get up. Yeah. Someone else is trying to out-train me. No.
Yep. That was, that can be a powerful motivator, but it can also drive you fucking insane.
It's both. I mean, I was a nut job. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, though, is because I was a nut job back then, life is easy now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's hard to compare. Like, you can't get, like, much more difficult than I have to tape my body parts back on and then go do sprints and then, you know, like, do this training and go to work and go to school and then
it's liberating to know you're like, no one's ever going to have that type of thing over me again, you know?
Like, no, it's not hard.
Yeah, like 0%.
So, I mean, that's kind of the give and take of it. Is it good to experience such things if you can get out of them and then you can look back and be like, that's strength. All right, I put my ceiling so freaking high. Yeah. That
But cool. Then but at the same time, you wouldn't wish it on anyone.
God no.
You know, like I wouldn't wish any of it.
God
on anybody, my worst enemy.
No way. Yeah, like as a parent, it's how do I impart those lessons in a positive way without having to go through it?
Yeah.
And that's been an interesting challenge.
And saying that, like, I just always listen to like. Like parental cliches or whatever. Like, I would always listen to that, and I would look for the truth and look for what would happen, and like look for if that was actually a thing.
Where's it coming from?
Right. Yeah. And like, why is that? Why are they saying that to me? I mean, there must be some reason they're saying that to me. I'm not just blowing smoke up my ass. And then coming out on the other side of, say, a bad training environment, like, oh. Like, that makes a lot of sense. The grass is greener on the other side, or something.
Yeah.
You know,
well, damn. Okay.
I mean,
anytime I drop like a dad-ism or something, I always have a good story behind it.
Yeah.
And my daughter knows that because if I say something, she's like, "Tell me a story, Pop. Tell me." I'm like, "All right, I got it here. Finish the thing. For it. Here's where I learned this," and then it makes it real. And it's like a legit lesson, which is one of my goals in life is just be able to tell all kinds of cool stories. Yeah. To tell cool stories, you got to live a cool life. Yeah. And so, there you go. Yep. But, I don't know. Okay, so I'll tell you an experience I had last week, which was really weird. Okay, so I don't train with you anymore, although I need to poke my head in. Got to come by. Got it too. But I do train where my daughter trains at Ronin, and totally positive training environment. Yeah. Like, definitely things run right. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to go to this like Wednesday morning class, and it's cool. Like, but it's a kind of a switch in the schedule. So I'm trying to drop in. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of having an off day, and me and my partner weren't quite on the same page. And you know me, I like to make mistakes when we drill. Mm-hmm. I like to screw some things up or focus on one thing and do a bunch of other stuff wrong so I get this one thing right. And I was doing that, and the other dude who's also white belt was like, kept pointing out things I was doing wrong. And I'm like, bro, because I needed to figure out this head position. But then Vitor, came over and yelled at me. Yeah. And, it wasn't bad. He tossed my own shit back at me. It was hilarious because he's like, would you do this in real life? Would you do this in competition? You have to train the way you're going to. And I'm like, you asshole. Use my own stuff on me, yes. So at the time, I could have this sort of dual emotion about it. I was emotionally really hurt, but I could also step back and look at myself being emotionally hurt and be like, that's funny. Yeah. That's funny. But it's how did the old negative training environment affect the positive training environment at the time?
Mm-hmm. But and then I think, weirdly enough, those types of positive environments that will yield that type of thing, like, yeah, he yelled at you, but it was from a good place.
He wasn't really yelling.
Right,
he was frustrated with me because he knows I'm better than that.
Right.
He didn't realize I was like, my head position was bad. I was working on this one thing.
Yeah.
And like, no, he's like,
but
no,
it's from the best place for him, for you to succeed.
Yeah, it was absolutely positive, but it was like, I remembered an old bad thing.
Right.
But then I remembered a funny thing too, which is kind of weird, but...
That's almost like... martial arts PTSD, like you go back to like a moment, it snaps you back to that moment, you're like, you feel that, feeling creeping up, and you're like, oh wait, this isn't real, or like, I've dealt with this before,
it's not that.
You're like, or like you get up to the other side, you're not dead, like,
and no, because it was funny, because the rest of the class, I felt like he was looking directly at me the whole time, and when we would like come in the circle and he shows the thing, I'm like, I swear he looked at me the entire time he was showing that. Directly in my eyeballs. And then like I saw him in the locker room afterward, and he didn't really look at me. And like I was hurt. It's because I was changing my clothes. I'm being polite. Right. And like in my head I was like, I'm hurt. I'm like, no, get away. Like why did it come back?
Yeah. No, it's funny.
I love you, Vitor. If you hear this, really, I'm not mad. I'm just laughing at myself because I was just having a weird day.
Yeah. No, like every time you're shifting a schedule like that, that can start to...
Stuff creeps in, man.
Yeah. Just because it's general discomfort, and then you're like, oh, well, this reminds me of a time I was uncomfortable. This reminds me of a time I was... this reminds me of a time I was fucking, face down crying. Like,
like horribleness. I'm about to drink all this shit.
Dude, it's so good.
It's so tasty. Oh, that's it.
Snow Angel, it's dead.
Got it all, baby.
Snow Angel is dead.
It's done. The snow melted, friends.
But yeah, like... So there was a time, and I'm really kind of freshly coming out of it, in the grand scheme of things, like, where I gave myself time off, and like I gave myself recuperation time, physically, mentally, whatever. Like now it's coming back to the point where I need to dial in the killer side and then the
and you
the balance side.
Kind of got to rework how you do it, though.
Right, because that brings shit up too. Like
and kind of the old ways come back a little.
Yeah, and I just like refuse to train with a scowl on my face anymore.
No, because like say after my experience last week, I was kind of just analyzing my like anxiety and weird depression shit I was like popping up, and I realized that it was an old format just poking its head up for a second, and I was like. I remember saying specifically to myself on the way home in the car, training will never make me feel bad again. Like, I can't let this happen. And then I had to laugh at myself, like, what am I, like, on Saturday Night Live here?
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like, I didn't think that stuff was there anymore.
But it is.
And there it is. I'm like, why? Like, dude,
that's like a martial art to martial art experience. But then, like, a life experience to martial art experience. Or, I mean, granted, but I understand. Let's just say, like, I understand people who have experiences outside and then come in and that manifests. Like, I understand.
And stuff manifests, yeah. But it's funny how it comes up, and it's just, to me, it's funny because it's like, it doesn't seem like it should be important, but if that's your life, especially when you're growing up, like
jiu-jitsu gives you those opportunities to like face your giants and like face your giants and deal with it and make it. Knock shit down to size.
It
makes you deal with it. Like,
and I think that's one of the reasons why I got into it, of getting back into training. Initially I just, on the surface, I want to see if my legs still worked.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was like, I wonder if I can still do anything. And then, but then emotionally, to be a part of a group again, to see what happens, like, when adversity hits.
Yeah.
How am I going to react? And
I was thinking about that sort of the other day, like, weirdly enough, like, I can roll and do whatever, like, softly and, like, not let things piss me off, but, like, when it comes to, like, kickboxing and stuff and, like, striking, like, that's where it's different. Yeah, like, that's where I'm, like, almost like, wonder if you'd be a huge dick. Like, I wonder if you'd be a fucking asshole, but, and I haven't, like, sparred like I used to, like, and I
haven't
never
done heavy
will
sparring in forever.
Because it's dumb, but
it's fun, though.
It is so fun.
Oh, it's fun.
But I know, like, partially, like, there's part of me that doesn't feel bad about hurting people, and so that's I gotta be careful with it, like.
Yeah, and what goes around comes around. I know what happens. Like, I don't feel bad about hurting people. Guess what? Then people don't feel bad about hurting me.
Yeah.
And
it's just because like the funny thing is, like in jiu-jitsu, I'll be so careful and I will not.
Never.
But then I don't give a fuck if I'm chopping your legs, kicking you in the head, doing whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, I know that's really weird. But
the last time we sparred, I was wondering if that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because like it didn't. I was a little surprised at myself.
But it's like you walk on the edge and you like see it and you're like, boy.
Like, you started launching some kicks at me. I'm like, he's got heavy legs. I got to boot this fucker. Yeah. I'm like. No, he's my friend.
Yeah.
Just touch him. Just okay. See, I keep my foot real high in the air.
And even with like, it won't happen as much in jiu-jitsu, but when you're like kickboxing, sometimes you get hit. Like you get hit. And that's that. Like, it doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't mean like this. Just you get hit. That's what you're doing.
That's the point of the game,
right? But jiu-jitsu, like you can dial it in a lot. You can dial it in and out and work on specific things and not. And kickboxing, like, you're there to fight each other.
Fight's a fight, man. Yeah, but that's one of the things I really do love about rolling in jiu-jitsu is it's a lot easier to dictate the intensity of it and still have fun.
It gives you time to work through those feelings. Like, when you're, like, getting well pissed off, like it gives you time to be like, okay, I'm stuck in this position, I can come back to here, okay, I'm so cool. Kickboxing, you're getting lit up, you're getting lit up. It's like life or death. You gotta start doing something.
You have to do something right away. You can't just stand there and get beat.
Right. Yeah. You don't tap.
You can't tap out and restart or just get pinned for a while and be like,
and just like rest.
I'm gonna think about this while I defend.
It's like that don't happen. Doesn't happen there. So that's like an interesting thing too. Like, and that's I haven't gone as far back into kickboxing as I have jiu-jitsu, and like in retrospect, I don't know if I would or will, but because like I still find myself like, you want to fight or you want to do this or that. I'm like, should I honor that or not? Like,
I still have those emotions, and my physical ability continues to return, and I'm gonna have to cross that line at some point.
I know.
Of do I need to go get in a fight?
Yeah.
Because it's still a part of me. But I'm at the age and the injury level. I think that I'm the old fighter now, I guess. Like at some point, I'm the guy that's like I see on TV that you gotta stop.
But jiu-jitsu still gives you that.
But jiu-jitsu gives me a lot of that. But then it's
the way I look at it for you is like if you need it, you got like your shot, your kick left. If you need it.
If you need it, it's there.
But everything else, you got the jiu-jitsu. Like, it's your Swiss Army knife. Like,
no, I'm good, man. But it's
you need your weapon. You can kick the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, the weapons are still there.
Yeah.
But and getting better again.
And that's like that's when you enter the point of like you're curious. Like, well, could I?
But it's very much like an alcoholic. Like, does it still taste good?
Yeah.
Let me take a sip.
Like, oh shit.
Why? Why you go back?
I don't know, but like, then you argue like, could you make it? Do you see yourself ever going back into Taekwondo recreationally?
No.
Exactly.
No. Well, I don't know. I've been thinking about this recently.
Like, could you go into a gym, kick pads, have a class, and leave?
The sigh, I guess, answers the question. Probably not.
Yeah.
For me, around here is some people still know who the fuck I am. And some people don't. And that's a double-edged sword for me. Because the ego's going to jump in. And so either people are going to know who I am and be like, fuck, stop, please. Or they're not going to know who I am and be like, motherfucker, you know who I am?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to have to be confronted with either one of those.
Right.
I like being nobody.
Well, that's that. But then you can also look at it like giving yourself another chance to go at it and be nobody. You know what I mean? Like,
which, not in Taekwondo, can't happen.
Right. You already have your identity.
I already have the identity. Even if you don't know who I am, as soon as I start moving, they're going to be like, that guy knows shit.
He does something.
Like, he's, what? And even if in my own head, I'm like, I'm so slow right now.
Yeah.
Like, I know all the angles. I know what to do. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah. There's this guy I did an intro with recently, and like, when it came to jiu-jitsu and ground stuff, he was on it. I'm like, you training for He's like, no, never trained
like, you did
jujitsu.
something.
I'm like, you did something. He's like, oh yeah, I wrestled in Iowa for 15 years. I'm like,
Well, there you go.
That'll fucking do it
That'll
too.
do it, man.
That'll bring it together for you. So
yeah. That's funny. The crossover's funny.
Yeah.
But you can always tell people who fight, if they're in a combat sport and they actually, combated, like, there's a calmness. Like,
the way they move.
The way they move or the way they react to shit. Mm-hmm. Like, normal human being, you put, like, a fist in their face, they're flinching and turning away.
Yeah.
Someone who's combat sport, whether it's wrestling or, whether it's grappling or striking.
There's a reaction to...
There's a much different reaction.
Yeah.
They're analyzing. They're cool with it.
A blink or like a look.
They're like,
what's up?
They stare at it like, yep. They're like, all right. Yeah.
They're like, that would have hit me, but there's also after that.
yeah. We're good.
Yeah. And that's one thing, like, I think jiu-jitsu helps with. It makes you see like you're not made of glass.
Yeah.
So.
And I like it. I always refer to it as my retirement art because it lets you know you're not made of glass without like denting you.
Yeah.
Without trying to shatter anything. It can be very difficult, but still very gentle at the same time.
Yeah.
The tap is a good thing if you're smart enough to know when to tap. But then just the exhaustion of grappling is also a really good thing.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you did something if you need that.
Like Ward was saying, like last episode, he was like, that was the only time he felt valuable when he didn't have a job, particularly was grappling.
When he was training.
Yeah.
And and Ward's super valuable in many ways, obviously. But again, like just in terms of like mental status, like during that time, I totally understand that. Yeah, I totally get it, man.
And there have been times where, times of life where I'm like, fuck, jiu-jitsu. It's the only thing I got. And that's also another thing that will keep you in a shitty spot.
Will keep you in the shitty spot, man.
Damn, this might be the only generally decent thing I got going, so.
Yeah, it's the focus of your life. It's what you see.
Yep.
So,
Very intriguing points.
But, all right, one more way in. You got a little more time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very good. Let's bring up competition.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we first met, you were done.
Yeah. I was out of that. I was out of a lot.
Yeah, and so, I've been around for that ramp back in, which has been really interesting on my part because I didn't want to tell you what to do.
Right.
But I also wanted to, help you avoid the pitfalls of the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is... I'm no special person. I need help too. I need help to see that type of shit. Which is something I'm definitely very grateful for.
We kind of exposed it in each other.
Yeah.
But we kind of guided each other through it.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting opportunity on my part to kind of work out some old demons. Mm-hmm. With a friend who understood it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also there's an outlet to kind of test and see stuff and play with that's not attached to that sort of negativity.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to revamp it.
Yeah,
but, I don't know how's that been going though. You're deeper and deeper in.
Yeah, that as time passes, the more and more I want to compete. I was supposed to compete in January, I didn't get the chance to because weather and this and that, and I was fucking bummed.
Yeah.
But then in retrospect, that was funny because years and years ago, I'd be like, cool, fuck it. Tournament's off. I don't have to compete today. Fine. I wouldn't be upset if shit wasn't kicking through because I just didn't want to be there.
Anyway.
But, and again, in a positive environment, I very much love competing again. I had to go in and do it without the negative environment and obviously the new environment. So I just had to realize the world wasn't going to come crashing down afterwards
And how, the rebuilding process of taking the negative lessons of the past and kind of mixing and matching and picking how you approach it now. It seems much more healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. I have fun. That's the biggest
awesome.
difference.
That's the best part.
I have fun doing it, and I'm okay with experimenting and doing different things and exploring jiu-jitsu and kind of things that I felt like I wasn't able to do when I was under the tutelage or whatever you want to say, but like I had to follow script at that point.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, I get to play and do things, and I've had to weigh my reactions to wins and losses and see how that goes. Like sometimes I like, I have to see how I feel after a loss. Like sometimes I used to just like beat the shit out of myself after a loss and blah blah. Like now I'm like, whatever, another day. He was better today. Yeah. Then I can go fight the same guy another week and be fine.
Are you able to step back and kind of analytically look at things a little bit better now?
Absolutely.
But then like analytically through like, and then breaking into a positive, like here's what I did wrong.
Yeah. Cool. That's I had to work really hard to rewire myself, but that's the first thing now, which is
good.
Important.
For very like important. Yeah, very important. Just on a personal level, but also on a getting better at what you're doing level. You got to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that was a choice I had to make too. Like if I was making the choice to teach and to train and to compete and to this and that, like you're in it. So like, and then I was like, you're in it and you're making the choice to be back in it, and you're gonna give it 110%. Like but positively.
But positively. Like this time it's a different.
And I definitely have a better handle on like my mental health, so like I can tell when things aren't 100%. If I need to dial back, scale back, or dial things up.
The rails for a second. Yeah, like kind of have a strategy of how to get yourself even.
Which I didn't prior, so that's something I was proud of myself for. Just like
figuring that out's a big deal. Man.
Yeah, just figuring that out, and that's just liberating and freeing and feel amazing. Just because like, then what's gonna stop me?
If you know how to deal with it. Yeah.
I mean, granted, I have my fucking rough days, but
I mean, everyone's got a rough day, and I think that's sort of the acute negativity of training. Of sometimes the day is going to be off.
Yeah, especially with jiu-jitsu.
Like
and that's the thing. I was talking to some people like, "Oh, I suck. I this." I'm like, no, like what you're saying just doesn't matter. It doesn't register because of how many days you're going to be training, how many lessons that are going to feel this. Like, But that's also my opportunity to teach them to look at the smaller things and pick out the positive stuff. Whereas I could bear down on them and be like, "Yep, you fucking suck.
You're horrible." Yeah. No,
but
no.
That's my choice to be like, oh, I can be what I needed to them now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, to yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's therapeutic.
Yeah.
For me, because like me doing it for someone is like, I'm doing it again for myself. So.
Yeah, you're reframing that.
Yeah.
So. And it's helps to.
And I'm very fortunate to be in the position where I get to do that on a daily basis.
That's nice.
And it's basically like my job and therapy and my hobby and everything rolled into one. So, which is an interesting aspect too, because I have to be careful with things. To set limits. Like some days I have to leave. Like there's some days I have to not train. I have to walk away.
You got to be out of it.
And there were days that and that was something I used to not do. I'd be like, fuck, got to train every fucking day. This, that, whatever, no do this.
Yeah.
Now I have a better grasp on like, nah, go home. Like, sit down. Like, but she's like, don't think we should train today. We should, it's a holiday tomorrow. It's this. Like,
and being okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before, like, I've trained on Christmas, my birthday, I've left my
what?
family to do this, but like, like I'm on holidays. I'm like, I'm with my fucking family today. Like, leave me alone.
Or just in like a simple normal day, like I have my Monday thing that I do. I didn't do it because we had off, and I was like, I might be able to get it in tonight, and I went, man, it's 8:00.
Giving yourself permission to break that, and then just pick it up tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And today I had an awesome training session. Yeah, it was great.
And that's the thing. Like sometimes a missed training session is going to give you killer motivation for the next
rest
one.
You needed, man. Yeah. Rest is a weapon, dude.
Absolutely. And that's something I learned from you. Like, I never rested. I never slept. Never did this. Never did that. Now I understand.
Sleep is good, bro.
Yeah, like I sleep all the time now. I love sleeping. I love it.
I have to tell you where I got that saying.
What's that?
You ever read The Bourne Identity? All right, the original 3 books: Identity, Supremacy, and Ultimatum. In The Bourne Supremacy, Jason Bourne beats this old ass French dude named D'Angenu, I think. And at one point, Bourne's been up for days just being chased by assassins. And D'Angenu explains to him, like, even if you just go to sleep for like a half hour, it will help. Rest is a weapon.
Yeah.
It's the same as that knife or that gun. You have to use it.
Yeah.
And like I read that when I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
And,
oh shit.
And like down in my Batman mind, that was refined power naps and proper eating.
Right.
Like where it should have been, sleep 8 hours tonight, brah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But like that's where that started.
Yeah.
Well,
I read a book recently. It's called Living with a Seal, and like.
Oh, I've heard about this book where that dude like invited David Goggins to live with him.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw an interview with him.
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Is it cool? Yeah, because I heard an interview with that dude like, recently.
Yeah, he's nuts.
He's a character.
But you know, the military, you know, they train you to sleep wherever, whenever. They made one night the guy was bitching about being sore and this and that, and he made him sleep in a wooden chair that night. And he was like, now what? You know, then he made him train the next day and blah blah blah. He didn't die. He didn't do this. It makes you realize.
Like, it makes you appreciate your bed.
Yeah.
But also, it's like you can sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
Get your rest.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuses.
Yeah.
You know, just conk out.
And I mean, look at the dude. Like, again, big picture. You're looking at dudes who trained like that. Like. In early 2000s and MMA, like they got CTE, they're all fucked up now, like their bodies aren't functioning.
That's my generation, man.
Yeah, I want to train forever and function for as long as I can and healthily and as
and that's how we did it back in the day, man. Yeah, we didn't live for tomorrow. But what saved me on that one though is my education. Mm-hmm. And I dissed my education hard back then. I really shouldn't have, but I still went. And I still studied real hard and learned everything and appreciated it. But I, like that kind of kept me out of it because I was always analyzing things. Even if I was going too far, I knew how to like hold it together just enough. And it's paid off extremely well now. I'm fixing everything, but...
That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't give back the lessons and tools I have now. But again, I wouldn't be like, this is the path you need to take to do this. I'd be like, this is what you should not do.
And so it's trying to figure out how do you get those lessons without the path.
Yeah.
Without that negative path anyway.
Yeah.
What's a better path? And then you have to respect the better path.
Mm-hmm. You do have to respect the better path because people who have never been on the negative path are going to jump on the good path and then take it a little bit for granted, and it might like piss you off a little bit.
Yeah, it'll piss you off a lot sometimes.
And you can't let that.
You can't let that. You can't let that
look,
bug you.
Fuck, you don't know how good you have it.
Yeah.
Like.
I know.
But then again, like, there's always someone who had it worse than me too. So fuck it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's people that can't train anymore because they did.
Exactly.
Or they're
maimed or something.
They're just maimed and bad, and it's.
And when you boil it down, if you're on the mats, fuck yeah.
Then you're good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good day.
Yep.
What I don't know. What else you got? Almost time to go.
Yeah, about time. Getting there. But for the most part, I mean, like, just listen to your stomach. Trust your gut.
Trust the gut,
about people, about environments, about gyms. I mean, not everyone's going to make it their life like we did and like live into it and like do that, but there are those people, and as people on the outside, you should realize what's going on with them, and then as people like maybe like above them or doing the same thing, like have sympathy and have empathy and help each other out.
Have a measure of empathy and respect for people.
Yeah.
One more thing I got to bring up about myself. I know I'm horrible, but no, something I'm enjoying kind of dealing with now is when I was younger, I didn't respect people who didn't compete. Mm-hmm. I thought they were lame hobbyists.
Right.
And now I'm basically a hobbyist. I train 2 or 3 times a week. It's not my life. Mm-hmm. I don't really care about competing. And I'm like, I would hate me.
Right.
19-year-old me would scoff at 38-year-old me like, you are a punk bitch.
Yeah.
And I could beat that guy up.
Mm-hmm.
I could beat my 19-year-old self up, I think.
Yeah.
I was pretty crazy.
You got jiu-jitsu now, so.
Hey, I'd be all right. Although, he was a pretty scrappy dude. He knew how to get up. He'd get off the bottom. But it's fun to have to deal with that. That's a little bit of karma hitting me. Of now I get to be the hobbyist. Mm-hmm. And see people that compete that don't necessarily respect the hobbyist.
Yeah. There's 2 sides, the yin and the yang to it. 100%.
I'm like, and I mean, I like it. I like that I'm getting a kind of payback. But I also like that I can see it, and that I have to sort of deal with my own ego and not let myself rationalize it.
Yeah.
And just be like, no, training's training.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Everyone have fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the thing, like, at the end of the day, too, you're trying to have fun and do something that's different and fun. And again, like, most people aren't going to make it their life. They don't give a shit about the respect and the this and that. Like, they just don't.
No.
So you got to know your audience, too, as an instructor.
As an instructor, yeah, you got to flow with that. I mean, that's a person-to-person thing within the class.
Yeah.
How you treat this person versus that person, even if they're partnered up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the chemistry can be just blown and it's gone, or if it could be really good. So many things.
I do miss that balance. I love teaching a group and being able to kind of get that flow where everyone gets something out of it, even if this person is just like, I just got from work and I just want to roll around and have fun for a little while, and I'm partnering with this person who is competing at Worlds next week. Yeah. And they can both get something out of class and love it. And as an instructor, that's on you.
Right.
Like, that flows from you, even if no one else notices.
That's your job.
Even if they think it's not, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And I love that. I personally do that. But
personally, I love it as well. But that's just something that happens and is virtually what it is, and then gets no recognition for what it is, you know?
Well, you know, being an instructor is, I read a fun article once about a stay-at-home mom had written it. And she was basically like, and it's a stay-at-home parent thing. The longer I'm a stay-at-home parent, the less gender division I have on anything. It's just a role. It's not a gender role.
Yeah.
And I find that as a good instructor is very similar to being a good parent, especially like a stay-at-home parent, is you're like salt. If there's too much salt, people are like, why the fuck is salt too much? If there's not enough salt, like, you need more salt.
Yeah.
If there's just enough salt, nobody notices it exists.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and you kind of like, ideally you float in the no one knows you exist realm. Of there's all these things you got your hand in and all this balance act that you're doing, and you're the only one that knows. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, no one else is going to know when you're having an off day, or if you're on or off. Mm-hmm. And that's the funny thing. And that's like just one of those unspoken things as an instructor. But no one's going to know when you're...
They can't know the difference. That was one of the first things I was ever taught as a teacher of back in Athens. Doc from my good school, like, that's all the positive stories. One of the first things she told me is, it doesn't matter what you feel like. I don't care if your dog died. I don't care if your girlfriend broke up with you. Or you're happy or you're sad. You don't take it out on people in here. Yeah. You're the same every time you come in. This is like being in your living room with your friends.
You can't bleed on who didn't cut you, you know? Like, you can't. Yeah. If you're having a bad day, like, you know, when I'm teaching, it's like, you don't get to have a bad day because I'm teaching and I'm in the spot I'm in. So, like,
and you don't put that on other people. But I remember one time my dog did die and my girlfriend broke up with me, and I still came in and taught class and no one knew. And I was like, I got it. Yeah. Like, I was so sad and depressed at the time.
But no one knew. Put on a fucking class.
I put my uniform on and went and taught class, and I was happy. And then, like, as soon as I got home, I was sad again. But I was like, I did it. I learned the lesson. Yeah. Dude.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, you're good at that.
Try to. Just, I mean, on top of that, I mean, teaching is also my escape, too. So, like, if I'm dealing with some shit, like, I'm going to go teach and roll and do stuff and hang out and learn stuff. So, I mean... That's where it can, again, like, the lines get blurred and whatnot. But
And that's, so to finish up, okay, one more thing. Okay, so we're talking about overcoming negative training environments, and we've mapped that pretty well today. Now, let's finish up with two things. How do you avoid your environment becoming negative? Because we're talking about, like, if you notice this negative, leave it. But what if you have control over that somehow, right? And then the other thing too is if your passion and your hobby is now your job, what do you do to detox from it? Mm-hmm. So, all right. So say you're in an environment and you can feel like it might be becoming negative. What do you do as the teacher?
I mean, if I feel something, if I'm the teacher, it's my job to fix it. It's my job to at least try to iron it over, in my opinion. Like, whether it's like a bad person, bad this, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. It usually comes from one spot.
It's, you can usually trace the cancer down to one cell kind of thing.
So it just depends on how you deal with that.
I mean, we both came from spots that initially were good and went bad. and we saw it happening, and maybe tried to influence it in another way and couldn't. But like, as
I suppose I didn't know where the cancer was coming from. I guess I couldn't find the source. I knew it was there. I knew it was this, but it was looking me in the face the whole time. But I didn't know.
Didn't figure it.
But identifying that is a key. Yeah. Is it easy? No, obviously.
Obviously not. But yeah. It's But yeah, just as the guy, you gotta be able to work through it with people live action without really even knowing you're working through it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just being able to I think that takes where the empathy and stuff comes from, being able to connect someone and tune into that, realize the source, and then extinguish it, hopefully, or dull it down so that they can fold in.
Then let people be able to work it out peacefully, kind of thing.
Right. But then as an instructor, sometimes you have to realize when you just gotta leave them the fuck alone, or let them roll it out, and let that be that. But if they're in, issues with hurting people or something, you gotta be careful. But that comes back to just
knowing why people are there and why you're there, and just having respect. Being respectful to people. Gotcha.
Be nice to people. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's the big picture.
Be friendly.
There wouldn't be a negative training environment if there weren't any dickheads, so don't do bad stuff.
Yeah, totally. All right, and then finally, how does the jiu-jitsu instructor that loves jiu-jitsu do other things and relax from jiu-jitsu?
The thing is, when it was my life or whatever, I never got paid for it. I never, I never gave myself permission to unplug.
Gotcha.
Now, I have a specific aspect that's teaching. That's my job. This is that. I can compartmentalize and differentiate things as I need to. I've built my life, and I've built my schedule and ways that I can beef up stuff if I need to, and then take it away if I need to. It's taken me a long time to and sacrifice and weird shit, and obviously putting up with bullshit like this to get to that point. It's 10 years in, I'm finally getting into my prerequisite work.
I gotcha.
But it took so long. But how do I defuse and stuff like that? How do I get away from it?
How do you what are your hobbies?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The thing is, whether it's been skill training or whatever, I'm always moving or exercising. Whenever I'm doing stuff, when I do recovery drills, it's not necessarily in my mind for jiu-jitsu. It's just for me.
Yeah.
So I can differentiate training like that. Some days this training is for this tournament, or this training is just for me because I want to fucking do it. I just want to see if I can do it.
Cool.
But then when I want to unplug, I'll just do something else. Weirdly enough, having this where I am now, it gives me permission. It made me give myself permission to explore other things.
Oh, cool.
Go hiking sometimes, smoke meats. I've learned weird things.
Smoked meats are delicious.
Yeah, just skills that I wouldn't allow myself to allot time to. Now I'm cool. You should go learn and do other things, and just because I have not that anything's stable or anything, but I'm in a healthy environment. Things are cool.
So
I'm gonna explore.
Tones down the obsession.
Yeah. But it's just healthier. I'm just healthier with it.
Yeah.
I want to compete. I compete when I want to compete. I don't when I don't. I train not just for competition. I train for pleasure. Again,
I gotcha.
And it took a long time to get to that point, but dog, baby, hiking, everything. My family. Nothing insane. It's nothing I want to go skydiving or do something else. It's just when I'm not there, I'm not there.
I feel it. So you can turn it off now.
Yeah, I can turn it off.
All right, that's
and
cool.
turn it back on when I want, which is nice. But on top of that too, I don't find myself needing to turn it off.
Oh, okay.
I'm not I'm overwhelmed with this. It's
burnt. It's just
I'm just there.
You just got a rhythm now.
Yeah, I'm in the rhythm. Even when the thing is even when the rhythm changes, I still adapt and keep going. It's fine. Whereas prior, I'd just be screeching in the
messed it up. Yeah.
halt. But now just roll with the punches.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, this is a good one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I'm happy.
That'd be 10.
All right, episode 10 done.
With the Snow Angel.
With the Snow Angel was delicious. Any big shout outs? Anything coming up? Things you're doing?
The lovely Brooke Hughes and I are going to be doing a grounded women's kind of like ground fighting solutions thing.
Ooh.
So like a women's only deal.
Very cool.
So I believe it's going to be called Discover Your Strength Ground Fighting Solutions.
Oh, very nice.
So I'll be sharing that on the Facebook soon. So look for that.
Oh, nice. I'm sad I'm not a woman. I've never experienced Brooke as a teacher.
Right.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. It's a good time.
She's a wonderful training partner. So.
Yeah. It'll be fun. So that's, I'm looking forward to that. And then going to compete at the Arnold.
Oh, nice. Brave the parking.
Yeah, I'm going to try and like take an Uber or something, or just like, not even that. It'll probably be like crazy expensive, but some way to get down there where I don't have to park.
Very good.
Yeah, what about you? Anything? Kicking?
Nothing much, man. Just, new training phase.
Yep.
Gotta go fold some laundry.
Love it.
Yeah, my life's boring now.
Nah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, even when people are like saying they're gonna go do boring stuff, I'm like, you know what?
That's cool.
You're fucking happy and healthy enough to go do that. Yep. That's what you're going to go do instead of like.
Now we're training tonight. It's Tuesday, so
you're good.
I'm happy about that, man.
Yeah.
I do. Training at Ronin, I'm finally adjusted to it. I really do like it.
Oh yeah.
I do. I love it there. It's really cool, and I'm trying to force myself to expand to find, revenue streams of some sort. I want to do the at-home badass thing and make it a thing.
Yeah.
Like that's been an interesting struggle for me to share with the world. It's weird, but
it's
So, what can you do?
Keep plugging away.
Yeah, just keep on moving forward.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Have a phenomenal day.
Yeah. Everyone.
Have some coffee.
Keep your coffee regular, y'all. And we will catch you later.